Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be reviewing episode 4 of the TV show called Shogun. I've been reviewing the episodes. My neighbors are working, so you'll have to excuse the noise. I actually don't think I can walk because they're out here, but I was going to do my typical walking. So I'm outside in the evening. I figured I'd multitask because I'm walking. I like to do my walking in the evening, and I thought I would do my review. So I'm just gonna make shorter paces. Normally I do a circle, but my neighbors are working, so I can't do that. So anyways, today I'm gonna review episode 4 of the TV show called Shogun. And I'm once again donning my kimono. This is actually a haori, so it's the jacket that goes over the kimono and the hakama that they wear. So episode 4, pretty exciting. So episode 3 was really exciting. I talked about that in last week's episode. And they arrive back in Anjin, I think is the village name. Don't quote me on that. I'm finally starting to learn the names. We've been watching it enough. I'm getting familiar with it. So they arrive, and Toranaga, aka Tokugawa Ieyasu, is greeted by one of his retainers. That guy is lord over this village in this area, and all of his people greet Toranaga and greet them as they come off the ship. And it's a really cool scene, and it's like culturally it kind of shows how they would greet like a lord and how they would greet like an important person who comes to see them, because somebody as important as Toranaga would like very rarely ever come to a smaller village like that. So it was really cool culturally, and he gave a speech, and it was a very like empowering samurai speech, and I loved it. And then he leaves, and there's some funny lines and different things, and I really like the character dynamics. His retainer is starting to play sides, so I think he's probably going to end up betraying Toranaga. He already kind of has a little bit, and is trying to play both sides. So they're here while Blackthorn, the English guy, is training them in the cannons and stuff that was on his ship. And they're much better cannons than what the Japanese people had been given from the Portugal people 50 years ago. So like in that time period, the cannons had gotten really like better. So he's training them, he's learning, and Toranaga actually made Blackthorn a Hatamoto, which is like a ranking. And because of that ranking, he gets a house and he gets a consort. And so the consort that is given to him is this woman. Her husband was the guy who spoke out and had to commit seppuku, and he had to commit seppuku with his son. So she's in grief, doesn't want to be a consort, but she is. And so there's a lot of cultural aspects that are brought out. This episode does have a couple of spicy scenes, so we skip through those. If there's any important dialogue in there, we missed them because I'm not going to watch that kind of crap, so we just skip through it. I wish that wasn't in there. One of the scenes didn't seem to be necessary. The other one seems like, I'm not sure what the meaning is yet. It seems like, I thought it was, I can never remember her name, Miyaku Marie. I can know it when I'm watching it, but it's what I consider to be the main girl, and she's the one who is Catholic and speaks Portuguese, so she's the girl translating for Blackthorn, and they've been getting really close, and I ship them. I don't know if that's a thing, so I'm kind of hoping they get together, but I thought it was her that came, because she first walked in the room and there was nothing bad happening, and then we skipped it after that. But anyways, it seemed like it was her, but then the conversation the next day, she's like, me and Fuji-sama, which is Fuji-sama or whatever her name is his consort, thought, we would gift you with a consort. And he's like, well, it was a wonderful gift. And they have this look like it was her, but then they're talking like it's not. So I'm not sure what the significance of that is, which I don't know if that's going to be that important, but I do ship them, and I am kind of hoping that they get together in the show. So overall, I really like this episode. Some would consider it like slower paced compared to like last episode, but culturally there's a lot going on here. Blackthorn feels like a prisoner again, because he and Toranaga had come to this agreement that I'll teach you how to use these cannons, you give me back my ship and my crew, except the ship is no longer under his control. It belongs to Toranaga, and his crew has been moved, so he feels like a prisoner. It's just he has a home and kind of better accommodations now, and they give him a salary and stuff. So it's kind of like the tension is still there, but I don't find it slower paced at all, because there's just so much culturally going on. There's a lot of different speeches and things, like, because he's learning the culture, and so through him we're kind of learning, like, there's a lot little, it's hard to explain, but there's a lot of like little details that are added in there that, like, I didn't know that, that's cool, and like it seems really accurate. And for a portion of this episode, my husband sat and watched it with us. He plans to watch the whole show with me, so we didn't watch too much, but my husband has read the book, and he said based on the portion of this episode that he watched, they are extremely accurate to the book. I don't know, I haven't read it, that's just my husband and what he said. And he also emphasized how much they're like really getting Blackthorn's character. There's a rivalry that he has with the retainer guy, who runs this area, this section, Anjin, I think is what it's called. His nephew ran it in his place when he went back to Osaka with everybody. And so the nephew and Blackthorn hate each other, and Blackthorn specifically hates him, and Michael said they did a really good job with that because he really doesn't like him. So overall, this episode, I would say, I want to give it 5 stars. The sex I didn't like. The sexual scenes, obviously I hated those. So I'm going to say 4.5 stars just because the sex scenes, there were 2 of them and one of them was not necessary at all. It seems like it was just kind of thrown in there. I don't know. And we did have to skip those. So 4.5 stars, but honestly, I'm really enjoying it. And I feel like it's still 5 stars for me too, though, because the cultural aspects in this episode was even, like, sometimes I like episodes like this that are slower paced but have a lot of cultural stuff and like a lot of little things going on. There's a lot of like conversations and things happening, like dialogue wise, as opposed to just an episode with a lot of action and suspense. Don't get me wrong, I love the action, but I really love these cultural moments. One moment they were in there eating, I don't know what the significance is, but he asked them what Miyuki or Miyaki, whatever her name is, her and his consort lady, what they were eating, and they said some N-word, netta or netta or nata or something like that, and they had this strange look like he shouldn't be eating it, but he did, and I don't know what the significance of that was. But in that scene, he wanted to give his consort a gift because she's been really polite with him and he was really rude to her, so he apologizes and gives her one of his guns, and in exchange she gives him her father's katana and wakizashi, which has been in her family. And she said that, like, as a Hatamoto, you shouldn't be going without a katana, and please accept this. And it was like a big gift, so he didn't want to accept it, but I tripped. He didn't want to accept it, but he did. And so they kind of had a nice moment, and I really liked that because culturally it was really good. And then Miyaki, like him and Miyaki or whatever her name is, they had some really nice moments and conversations. There was one time when they were talking over a cliff and there was a mini earthquake, and she mentioned all the disasters that happened. There's another one that they were watching, like they were standing on the Ungawa during the a rainstorm, and she gave him a speech about how they harden themselves behind their walls, so, you know, don't be misled by our politeness, our smiles, our bows. We may be in a place very far away, kind of implying that they put on this polite exterior, but they may be deeper inside their heads, like, you know, internalizing a lot of their circumstances that they're in and stuff like that. So there was a lot of little conversations like that I really liked and enjoyed this episode. And so, I don't know, for me it was like a 5-star episode, but 4.5 because the 2 spicy scenes weren't necessary and forced us to like skip them and stuff. So overall, I'm loving this show. I'm so addicted, and it seems like it's pretty accurate to the books, and so far culturally and historically it is extremely accurate. There was a twist at the ending that I didn't see coming, and it blew me away, which is a pun. If you know what I'm talking about, for those of you who've seen it. So it got really violent, but I mean, it was like such a twist and everything. So things are going to get crazy. That's really all I know right now. So overall, that's my review of episode 4. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And in the meantime, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In the meantime, if you liked my review of episode 4 of Shogun, then be sure to check out my review of episode 5. It'll be up next week. You can see it here on the screen as a premiere until it's up. Check it out. You do not want to miss it. I'm really enjoying this show.